I'm Magical Jill, and today I have Lilith! Woohoo! Previously on this channel, I'm Magical Jill, and this is Luna! Hi, Luna! We opened up the very well-defined, voluptuous Morrigan.
It's well endowed and voluptuous.
Yes. We're reviewing Morrigan today. She's from the Darkstalkers series. It was an old arcade sort of fighting game, kind of like Street Fighter, and then they have a lot of the games ported to consoles now, and she's one of the most classic characters from the Darkstalkers series. She actually ended up being the mascot for them.
This is why you got no game and none of the girls at work will hit back at you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, while that may be true, at least I have a Morrigan statue, so who's the real winner in this situation?
That's a good point.
So, speaking of very sexy succubus women, this technically counts, I think, as a centuries-year-old being, and she has the adult body, so I'm okay for saying things about her that I want to say.
Yeah, people argue about this character's age, but she's split off from Morrigan, who's centuries old. Do you want me to say any lore here?
Why don't you say the TLDR of the lore, because we did do some more lore in the previous Morrigan video.
Which I think you can throw a little bit in here if you want. But yeah, no, so this is by Capcom too. You mentioned Street Fighter.
Yes.
Capcom made Street Fighter. They made Darkstalkers. This was a game series that was very, make sure you show the side art too, it's very pretty. But this was a game series that was very unique, right? Because up to this point, like a lot of people have pointed out, fighting games, they were mainly these characters that were like stereotypical buff dudes and, you know, some girls too, but they were martial artists. This was a fighting game series about monsters.
And she is a succubus.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what a succubus is, it is basically a seductive demon who, you know, wants to kind of
do the naughty with.
Yes, and take people's souls pretty much in,
I think that
in interesting ways.
This scene was some straight up dialogue from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite between her and Ghost Rider, and will kind of tell you a little bit about her personality.
Play the footage.
Tell me, Ryder. Is it business that brings you here? Or pleasure?
Vengeance.
Ah, a bit of both.
1,000,000 innocent souls have been stolen from the Earth. I seek vengeance against the one responsible.
Then look into my eyes. What do you see?
You are guilty of many things, Succubus, but not of this.
I sense such desire in you. A fire.
For justice, for retribution.
Not for me. Or for me. Oh. No. A pity. We have so much in common. Our passion, great bone structure. But if you will not give me what I need, I will take it from you.
But why don't you talk a little bit about Lilith while I open up her box?
So essentially we already covered that Darkstalkers lore is complicated. It's changed a few times. It's different in the comics than it is in the games, etc. And when it comes to, obviously, Morrigan, the understood lore is essentially that she was too powerful. She was split into 3 different powers herself. One, I believe, in Belial or Jeddah, I don't remember which, and then one in Lilith. And now the one in Lilith was not actually meant to be Lilith. It was just meant to be sealed away power. But what ended up happening is that it became a person. It manifested its own soul and its own desires. And Lilith really liked her freedom, so she wanted to be a person. Eventually the two joined back together, but actually we are kind of thinking that Lilith can split off from Morrigan still, because she shows up as playable outside of Morrigan in games that take place after that in the timeline. But Darkstalkers lore is kind of complicated, and the series is pretty much dead.
Would it make Morrigan a narcissist if she dated her own, like, being of herself, technically.
She technically has another woman inside of her at all times now that the two are, you know.
So I did want to mention they've got some really cute art on this box. I really like this in particular. I think it's super cute.
Kotobukiya, by the way, which is this brand, we want to get the Transformers stylized statues from them. And they, with this kind of Bishoujo type line, have a lot of really cool art. It's all in the same style. And it's all these different characters that are stylized the same way Morrigan and Lilith were on the box.
I also got some of the My Little Pony girls, which I'm so excited to show to you guys because they're also super cute. So this is her out of the box. I absolutely am in love with Lilith. I love how like petite and adorable she is. She's really cute and she's got these gorgeous red wings. Something I love about these Kotobukiyas is the fact that you don't have to assemble them and they are put together really well and beautifully, and there's no like paint problems. They always look super nice and high quality, and I kind of feel like they're pretty affordable for such a high quality gorgeous statue in my opinion. I just absolutely love these statues so much. I think they're so cute, and I love video game characters. I love beautiful succubus demon women, very much so. And so I feel like these are a great addition to my collection of hot women statues that I would love to share more on this channel. I'm so in love. I absolutely love it. I love that Lilith and Morrigan wear similar outfits, where like they wear these like tight tights and these boots, but they're also kind of wearing like opposite colors of each other, where she's wearing red and blue and Morrigan's wearing like this mauve, purple and black. It's so pretty. I love it so much. This is Lilith's butt. I want everybody to see the well-defined shading of her bumbo.
They actually do a really cool job with these statues, making them look almost 2D cartoon.
But also being 3D in real life.
Yeah. You know, they translate the art very well.
Yeah, it's really incredible. And I love Morrigan's like big chest, but I also love the contrast of Lilith's smaller chest. It's kind of like Morrigan got all of the boob, you know, and then Lilith, when she came out, she was like, I don't get any.
Yeah, Lilith's a much more petite, A-cup type
but still
girl.
Super cute and adorable. I love her.
You know, I think they could have gone really lazy with the design originally, and this is something Darkstalkers doesn't get enough credit for. They have a lot of really iconic fighting designs for their characters. And unfortunately, the brand just never really caught on the same way Street Fighter, Tekken, you know, all these other things caught on. You would think it would.
It makes me sad because I really like this brand a lot.
It's weird to me that a brand like this, where it's basically, you know, monsters fighting each other, monsters and demons and supernatural creatures, that sounds like an easy sell.
And very hot characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we also have Felicia, who we're going to be talking about pretty soon, like in another video, and I'm very excited for that one as well. I love that their stands match. I love that these are kind of like matching twin statues, if that makes sense, where they both have very personality-driven poses, and you can very much so tell that they know that they're beautiful and really enjoy the attention, which I think is really cute and fun.
Worth mentioning, they are succubi.
Yes, that's
so
true.
that does work.
I love that Lilith looks kind of like a tinier, a little bit younger, but still adult girl, and then Morrigan looks like a little bit older, a little bit more mature, but like still, you know, still got it. Obviously not like super old, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like little sister, big sister sort of thing to me, and I find that to be a cute little duo team up. Something that I actually mentioned in my Morrigan video originally is they have this clear stuff in between her heel and her like tip of her shoe. So those are like the supports to the stand, so you can't really see them. And I really like that you can't even see the supports, because I have Sailor Moon statues and we have some other things that like you can see the supports on them and it's just kind of distracting to the figure. But these don't have supports, and Lilith has the same thing going on her heel. It's clear, so you can't even really tell, and they're secure, you know? I mean, sure, if you dropped this like a couple of feet on the ground, it might break, but it's pretty secure. It looks really awesome. They package it really well, in my opinion, and I really love the fact that these are just so high quality.
Especially for the price. They're about $120 to $150 USD.
I feel like that is an extremely affordable price for a really high quality, amazing statue such as this.
Well, yeah, because I see statues that are $1,200.
Yeah.
Now, they're much bigger and even more detailed.
Yeah.
But I think that the way that Kotobukiya does it is they make it look, like I said, like a cartoon character, but in real life.
I feel like you get all of the detail, all of the beautiful painting. They look hand-painted. I feel like you get all of the amazing quality for an affordable price, and I think that's why Kotobukiya is so popular.
You know how I told you before, not as an aside, but how we talked about cell shading graphics and cartoon graphics in gaming? Mm-hmm. And how a game like Fortnite can look good in 15 years because it looks like a cartoon?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas a game on the PS3 that was trying to look real will age. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about Kotobukiya.
Yeah,
They have that sort of timeless cartoon look to them that I think really adds to the detail, because if you look at it, they're not the most detailed things ever.
But they're beautiful.
But they're beautiful, and they look like they're the most detailed things ever because of the art style. And you look at the shading. Something that's interesting here that I noticed, because I'm really into women, look at the shading on their butts. The way that they do it is they do this shading in the creases where shadows and also the shading and the way they do the paint really define the character's body. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we see what you're doing. You see what you're doing, you sicko. But I think that they did a really good job with that. You know, overall, it's really pretty and really well made. I'm sure, yeah, like you said, if you chucked it on the ground, it would probably break like anything else. Mm-hmm. But these are not super fragile either.
I did want to mention, I really love that on Morrigan's statue, she's got this adorable little face expression with her tongue out. And then on Lilith's statue, she has like a more kind of surprised, kawaii, like, I don't know, happy expression where she still looks sexy and sultry, but not as deviant as Morrigan. And I think that really shows kind of their little different personalities and how they're similar, but also have their own thing going on. I think that's really cute. I love that you can just tell there's so much personality in these poses and in these facial expressions just from a statue. I really like that. I don't really like statues that are just like this. You know, because you can't really tell, like, who that character is, why they're like that, you know? And with these, you can very much so tell, you know, these are girls who are very open with their sexuality, who look very powerful based on the fact that they have really cool wings and they have, like, really awesome designs, in my opinion.
They're also confident, and they're from an era of character design before people were scared to have a bunch of people write stupid, jobless articles about them and the male gaze and
which I prefer that era.
objectification and all this other stuff that people bring up because they don't have any real problems.
Yeah.
So I think that when it comes down to it, they are just a different style of art, and the Japanese culture really embraces that style of art even now. They don't really have a problem like that, or with that, like the West does. That's why they have no problem making Optimus Prime and making the Kotobukiya Bishoujo of it and making it sexy, or making these characters from that era. I think that, you know, I'm not saying that you never get stuff like this from Western media.
But it's not as often.
But it's not as often, and I think a lot of people are afraid of how it will be portrayed.
Yeah, and they're afraid of getting canceled, I feel like. Whereas it kind of seems like these Japanese companies don't really care as much about that whole
No, they care
cancel
about money.
thing.
They care about money. What are you going to do to them? I mean, like, if they're raking in money, they're in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you going to do?
They have all of these awesome pop-up shops that anime fans just go to and buy stuff at. Like, they have that built-in fan base, kind of like Disney.
Well, it's worth mentioning, too, a lot of Japanese culture is not the no-lives, you know, perusing Twitter for stuff to get mad at. And also, a lot of these brands are supported entirely by Japan. The fact that they are brought overseas is a luxury. It just adds to their profits. They were already profitable without us.
This is one of the only things that I'd say, like, we're lucky to get, if that makes sense. Not in the fact that, like, we should be, like, so thankful and begging these companies to give us things, but more in the fact of, like, I'm really glad that they decided to actually make these things accessible to Americans because they previously didn't.
Well, and manga, anime, all of that stuff, it was successful and profitable without us. Same with things like the Famicom, you know, before the NES and the SNES and all this stuff, when they just had their Japanese video game consoles before they got changed to work in Europe and America and stuff, they were profitable without us.
Yeah.
And that's the same way that this brand kind of operates, is they get more profitable by going worldwide. But I don't know if you would see designs like this as often if it wasn't for that built-in audience in Japan, which I think is really cool because it's a product of its time, but it's also a product of a different culture.
I've kind of noticed that I have a big passion for a lot of these Japanese-centric brands because they're so creative and because they're so willing to be out there and be themselves and show, you know, that this girl can be powerful and awesome and amazing, and the male gaze doesn't matter because it's a made-up stupid thing. I absolutely love that. It feels very empowering to me as a woman, and that's something I really love about anime, especially Sailor Moon. I feel like that anime especially and that manga series is definitely like a very empowering thing for young women, and I wish I got to have more of that in Western media.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, even stuff like there's plenty of really great Western brands and stuff, but I think even things like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, you know, those are the kind of weird, wacky, out there things that are not super grounded in reality, but they have a lot of humanity behind the stories to them.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't relate to being a succubus, but you can relate to wanting to be confident and out there and proud of who you are. And I think that's something that's cool about these characters. It's something that's cool about Darkstalkers, is they were unashamedly weird, kind of like Monster High is.
Yeah, and now Monster High kind of has fallen into the Western trope of let's make sure everything is kid friendly.
Let's tone it back.
So we don't get canceled.
Let's tone it down a little bit. Let's be weird, but not that weird.
Yeah.
And I like that this brand with Darkstalkers, same with Street Fighter and a lot of these Japanese brands, they don't care.
Yeah,
Like,
I love weird.
If you think they're weird, their attitude is, if you think we're weird, then don't buy the product.
Yep.
But oh look, enough people buy it, so we don't care.
Yeah, I actually really like that. It makes me happy. And I love these statues. I'm really excited to open up Felicia. I'm really excited to play some more of these Darkstalkers games.
I suck at them.
I really think that the story is actually super interesting, even though I am also not a fighting game kind of person.
We are horrible.
Neither of us have ever been very good at them, but we like the stories that go with them. So yeah, I really love these statues. I hope you guys liked watching this video because it's something that I think is really awesome. These things are very close to my heart. You know, cute little things like this that are just like really fun collectibles. That's something that I just love to collect and share with people. It makes me so happy, and I hope it makes you happy too. So if you liked this video, I hope you press like and press subscribe, and hopefully leave a comment. Maybe you could tell me who your favorite Darkstalkers character is, or maybe what your favorite fighting game is if you're interested in them, or maybe just what your favorite video game is in general, because I absolutely love video games. They're like a very big personality trait for me. And anyway, speaking of personality traits, one of my other biggest personality traits is creating things. I know I always say this stuff. I have enchantedglamour.com, which is my shop where I sell things like resin pieces. I love making coasters and trays out of recycled comic books, where I'll find shops that are just kind of throwing away really old comic books, and I'll take them and be like, hey, I can make something out of this. So that's what I do. I make cool stuff out of comic books, and I make really cool handmade jewelry, which I think is awesome. I recently started up the new masculine collection, which I am really excited about because it's my new collection of taking pieces that I have already made and taking pieces that I'm going to make and being inspired by masculine fashions and kind of saying, like, I feel like these are very unisex. These are something that I feel like both men and masculine leaning people could enjoy. And so I'm kind of hoping that people like that sort of thing and maybe go see it, because I also have a lot of really super feminine stuff on my site too, and I felt like I need to balance it out a little bit, you know? So if you guys are at all interested in that, definitely go check out enchantedglamour.com, and you can use the code SAILOR, in all caps SAILOR, for a discount, which is super cool. So I hope you guys use that at checkout. You can only use it once. It's like a first-time customer sort of thing. So definitely try it out because I think it's super cool. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!